So listen, man, thank you for getting up and sharing this time with us this morning. I wanted to bring you in on the conversation because of our boy. Both of us supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, and I believe we both supported him again in 2020 during the primaries. And it turns out that he is one of the best voices in the fight against the filibuster being used by Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, blocking literally all the progress in this country. So I want to play this clip from Bernie Sanders, and then I want to read to you the response from Joe Manchin, and I want to get your thoughts on this whole kerfuffle, if you would. Let's run the clip.
Now, Senator Manchin, as I understand it, talked about today about not wanting to see our country become an entitlement society. Well, I am not exactly sure what he means by that. Does that mean that we end the $300 direct payments for working class parents, which have cut childhood poverty in this country as a result of the American Rescue Plan in half? Is protecting working families and cutting childhood poverty an entitlement? My concern with Mr. Manchin is not so much what his views are. I disagree with him. But it is that it is wrong. It is really not playing fair that one or two people think that they should be able to stop what 48 members of the Democratic caucus want, what the American people want, what the President of the United States wants. Does Senator Manchin believe that we should be the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave, and that working mothers should not be able to stay home with a child who is sick? Are workers not entitled? Millions of seniors in Vermont, in West Virginia, all across this country, have teeth in their mouths that are rotting when they can't afford hearing aids in order to communicate with their grandchildren, and when they can't afford a pair of glasses in order to read a newspaper. Does Senator Manchin really believe that seniors are not entitled to digest their food and that they're not entitled to hear and see properly? Is that really too much to ask? But the time is long overdue for him to tell us with specificity, not generalities. We're beyond generalities. What he wants and what he does not want, and to explain that to the people of West Virginia and America.
Let's pull up the tweet then. Let's pull up the tweet from Joe Manchin, his response to Senator Bernie Sanders, and I want to read that for you. And this is what Burgess Everett reported on Twitter. We're going to bring it back on the screen. The back and forth, while it is entertaining and it is good to see Bernie Sanders take Joe Manchin to task, I have to agree with the senator. We're far beyond generalities. We need specificity from Joe Manchin. And this is a response. Manchin fires back at Bernie Sanders' presser saying, quote, "Respectfully, Senator Sanders and I have a very different policy and political belief. Share very different policy and political beliefs. Senator Sanders believes America should be moving towards an entitlement society, while I believe we should have a compassionate and rewarding society." And therein lies the generalities. Brother Tim Black, you're back. You had a chance to hear Bernie Sanders take it to Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin fired back saying that he doesn't want an entitlement society. What are your thoughts, brother?
Appreciate it, man. And it's a pleasure, brother, and an honor. Entitlements, that's a weird word for citizen. I mean, most of us who have been here in this country have paid into a system that is one of the most formidable systems in the world. And the citizenship rights of those citizens should give them access to things such as health care. Wow, what an amazing thing. So when I listen to Joe Manchin talk, man, I got to be frank here, man. He sounds like he's a proxy for Joe Biden. He's a proxy for all the other conservative Democrats. He's a skin job, a doppelganger, a clone, a copy. Remember that movie, Multiplicity, with Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
He reminds me of that. And I just can't get past that idea, man, that he is saying what others are saying, but he's just the fall guy to do it. And for that, he gets his 15 minutes of fame, because no one, not anyone, should pay attention to Joe Manchin. What I like about what Bernie's doing here is he's making all those people who had a lot to say about you and I supporting him feel bad. I mean, if they have a shred of ethics and
integrity. That's right. He's frozen up again, man. Tim, we're gonna give you a second to get your signal back, man, because I wanted to unpack that a little bit more. But yeah, no, honestly, and I don't want to bring the clip up. I'll let you say it. I'm not gonna dig up old bones about the fight in 2016, but I do want to say that it is good to hear someone speak very firmly and assertively against Joe Manchin without any equivocation. It's necessary. And it's necessary because we're far beyond this game. We don't have time for this game. The way Bernie outlined it is exactly right. Now, let alone the fact that there are young people who are struggling in this economy and in this country who need that kind of assistance, let alone that. But think about the elderly in this country, as Bernie outlined. How many elderly citizens in West Virginia desperately need the packages that are being held up by Joe Manchin? It's an absurdity. It is preposterous, and it is time for more Democrats to come out against Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and not allow them to do exactly what I believe Tim Black was saying. Not allow them to simply be a foil, someone who can be the fall guy or the fall woman and take the blame for nothing being done in the past 2 years. In terms of voting rights, our voting rights are being held up. In terms of the judicial appointments, can we really consider what is happening at the Supreme Court level and not believe that it is time to take action against the filibuster? You simply cannot look at what's happening. And while we have had some progress, there was a federal court decision last night that has put a halt to the decision that was made that gave Texas an all but total ban on abortions. And so there was a minor victory last night, but there's still a fight. And that fight is best represented by all of the things that we cannot accomplish because of roadblocks like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and every other Democrat that they truly represent, because I agree, they simply are not there on their own accord, because if we wanted to get something done, rest assured, we would be getting something done. I want to read some emails that were exchanged. These were sent over to us by our producer, and they're emails communications between staffers. And it pertains not only to Joe Manchin, but also Kyrsten Sinema. And the first email is from Jeff Gertz. And this is just recent, October 5th. He said, "Hey, everyone. You may already be aware of this, but yesterday afternoon at the leadership meeting, my boss volunteered to lead a Democratic leadership statement on the incident in Arizona where some protesters followed Senator Sinema into a woman's restroom. Here's the draft we put together. The idea was that we do this jointly as Democratic leaders. We'd take care of pressing send to our press list. Could you all please take a look and tell me if you're willing to sign on? Happy to consider any edits as well. And this is the joint statement. This is what they are. Now, while everything else is going on, this is what the leadership and some of the staffers of the senators, this is what they're working on. And this is what it says, quote, protest are one of the most powerful tools for a vibrant democracy. That is why why the right to peacefully assemble and the right to exercise freedom of speech are enshrined in the First Amendment to the Constitution, and we are committed to fiercely protecting those rights. Following someone in the bathroom and filming the encounter is plainly inappropriate and unacceptable and crosses a clear line. What happened in that video was a violation of Senator Sinema's privacy that has no place in our public discourse, and we resolutely condemn it." James, you've been here with us the whole time. Kyrsten Sinema, who took so much joy in ensuring that workers didn't get $15 an hour, that she did a whole ass curtsy on the Senate floor, right? She got so much joy from that. And she's getting so much joy from upholding the filibuster and protecting the Republican Party. And now here are some of the staffers of Democrats fighting on her behalf instead of behalf of the people who were protesting her. Not surprising, but this is all one big show, man. It's not just Republicans we're fighting against.
This is why I stayed away from politics to begin with. Is because the thing of of it all is that we think that we are fighting with the Republicans. No, it's the whole political system, party, man. Democrats, political, everybody. I mean, GOP, everybody. It's everybody. Everybody's cricket. That's always what I was taught by my family, and that's always what I believe, and it still is to this day. Because most times we think Republicans are the worst thing out there. No, Democrats are 10 times worse. As we see, always.
And Tim Black is back, brother. How you doing, man? DJ exclusive on the screen.
Good morning, sir.
DJ exclusive. Hey, guys. You got Tim Black on here with us. Tim Black, I want to toss it to you because in this fight, you know, you pointed out that they may be a proxy, but it's not Republicans that's stopping voting rights. It's Democrats. It's not Republicans who are stopping any progress on protecting a woman's body through legislation. They got to overcome the filibuster. Those are Democrats in the way. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, man, you know, I've been kind of straying away from this type of coverage, man, for the same reasons as your as a good DJ there, man, because of my frustration with the Democratic Party, man. But I'll tell you this: when I realized that they were initially at $6 trillion, and that the Democrats negotiated against themselves to bring it down to $3.5 trillion. And now they want to take it even lower. And remember, this is all Democrats, as you pointed out. I think it becomes pretty evident, brother, they're going to have a hard time in 2022. That's and right. No amount of boogeyman, no amounts of boogeyman fear tactics are going to get people excited. If you can't get it done when you have the whole table, you have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and you're not moving the needle for working people, I don't see how you get people excited to come out and defeat what could be another run or even 2024 when there could be another Donald Trump or something even worse, brother. So I'm with you on this. I'm sure we see eye to eye on the fact that Democratic Party has to do a better job. And right now, it's showing. It's showing that they're in the hands of the donors, in the hands of the lobbyists. I think there's at least 1,500 pharmaceutical lobbyists on Capitol Hill. And we're talking about Joe Manchin, whose state is one of the third poorest state in the United States. And what is it? The earned income, the capita is some crazy number like 22,000. New York is 40. So the people of West Virginia don't support this. And what it's pointing out is that the Democrats and Joe Manchin cinema, that's donors talking. That's not them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. Because they're not just donating. They're not just donating to Republicans. The rich aren't. They're too smart. They're not just. Y'all think Michael Bloomberg and Jeff Bezos are only donating to Republicans? You think these pharmaceutical companies are only donating to Republicans? You think these police unions? Anyway, the problem is that they're all bought and paid for, and the people, the American people, are the ones who have to suffer over and over and over again. And it does. I'm honest with you guys. It feels like kabuki theater. And if we can't call a thing, then we're fooling ourselves because if we're not going to get our voting rights, what you think they're going to do on reparations, Tim?
Oh man. It doesn't look good, my brother. And this is the reason why I've been stressing so much about reparations and the black agenda. It's not the same thing to say you want to hold Democrats accountable. You have to push for policies that matter for those most least enfranchised or disenfranchised in our country. That would be black Americans. So if we can't get them to move on this, and people talk about the popularity of policies, I try to tell them, man, it's about what I will. Where's the will? That we didn't decide that we wanted to go into Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't know about you, Ben, but I didn't get a vote. So
that's right.
Let's not talk about what we have the will to do. We need to talk about what the will is of the Democratic Party. And right now, it's very plain to see that the will is not with the needs of the people. And if I could go a little bit further, I would just say, those who say that it's reparations is not a winning policy, well, slavery wasn't either when you talk to black people. Black people wanted that ended a long time before it was ended. So which side you want to be on? The side of redemption or the side that continues this? Don't you want your children to live in a world where people have equality? And then we can move on. Then we can move on to Medicare for all. Then we can move on to Green New Deal. Then we can move on to erase student debt. But don't tell me you care about health care so much when you don't care about the fact that when our people are sick, the doctors don't believe us.
That's right.
Money ain't going. So these policies ain't gonna change everything, brother. Don't tell me you're gonna erase my student debt when we're not getting called back for jobs because our names sound black. Or don't tell us you care about erasing student debt when at the end of the day, average college graduate makes less than the average white high school dropout. See, these policies aren't gonna change everything, and this is why I've been screaming. All my hair fell out, Ben. I've been talking, I've been yelling, I've been trying to tell them it's about something more important than myself, and they don't hear me though.